did God give us this RAS as part of our brain? And really, it's really interesting because there are so many bits of information, that are flowing past our eyes constantly, that if we tried to bring in everything, we'd go crazy.
Moving forward with the DekkerTeam. Moving forward together with the DekkerTeam.
Welcome back to the Inside Track on Real Estate, where we discuss all kinds of things about your home so that you can have a great lifestyle in the home you live in or the one you're about to move to. Yeah. So, Candice, I want to talk about the RAS.
Yes.
And the RAS, it's kind of interesting because it's about being prepared for the marathon of real estate. And the RAS is a part in the brain.
Yes, it is.
And what's it stand for?
Reticular activator system.
Yes.
Yes.
And why is that? Why did God give us this RAS as part of our brain? And really, it's really interesting because there are so many bits of information, that are flowing past our eyes constantly, that if we tried to bring in everything, we'd go crazy.
Do you know what would happen?
No, would we explode? Our brain would explode.
We couldn't function for sure.
So the RAS is kind of a filter.
Yeah.
And it tells us what's important to us. So you tell your RAS what's important to you.
Yep.
Like, I don't know, when you were pregnant, who did you see a lot of?
I saw the most amount of pregnant ladies I've ever seen in my life. And I still don't see as many.
Yeah, when you're pregnant, you see them, and when afterward, you don't really see them.
Yeah.
But now you have children. Do you see mothers with children?
Yeah. And I hear them in the grocery store, and I'm like, oh, I'm so glad mine are at home.
And for me, the RAS took place like things like cars.
Yes.
If I bought a new car, I thought, oh, this is such a unique car in this color. I haven't seen one. And then suddenly, they're everywhere.
Yeah, I remember when I was 16 and you bought the Blue Beetle, and I was super excited, and we put the daisies in the little vase in the car, and everywhere we went, there was like a Blue Beetle everywhere. I still haven't seen many since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the RAS is one of the reasons you probably noticed that a lot of times clients who are in the process of buying a home or selling a home or waiting for it to close, that's when they're calling us and saying, hey, my friend, I just heard my friend's thinking of selling, my friend's thinking of buying, can you help them too? Yeah. That's when the referrals come the most, and it's because their RAS is turned on for real estate.
Yes, I've seen that quite a bit.
Yeah, and probably your name too. Like if you're ever in a party and somebody says your name across the room, it might not even be because it's for you, but does your ear pick it up and go, oh, they're talking about me?
Yeah, yeah.
That's your RAS, because your name's important to your RAS. Now, your RAS, you can also program it for opportunities. And we've been talking about the marathon. And sometimes your marathon training starts before you even think you want to buy or sell.
Right.
And what I like to say to people is, Candice, I'll pretend you're one of my clients.
Okay.
Candice,
yes.
If I know you're not thinking of selling because you're delighted where you are, you just put a pool in the backyard and the house is great size for the kids. And where do you think, if you were to move, where would your next move be to?
Oh, my next move would be to the water.
To a waterfront?
Yeah, waterfront.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And ideally, when would you like to have something like that happen?
It would have to be like retirement, or the kids have left. Ideally,
the kids wouldn't like the waterfront?
Well, yes, but I don't think I'm happy where we are right now.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. So probably around retirement. And if you were to move, would it need to be like a great value or a great deal or the perfect waterfront or something? Would there be something that it would need to be? Yeah,
it would have to be absolutely perfect beyond our imagination, because at this point we're tired of moving. We've done it so many times. It's time to put down roots.
Right. And so how would you know let's say we're closing in on retirement, how would you know that it was the right house?
It would be value. It would be the waterfront itself. If it had a beach, it would be the size of the house. Can people park? That sort of thing, visits.
All right. And so how would you know if it was value or not?
Based on like value.
What would you do for yourself? Being a realtor, what would you do for yourself so you knew the value of waterfront properties?
Well, I might be researching it.
And how would you research it?
So I'd be looking at current properties, what they're selling for.
Okay, beautiful. And that's one of the things we can do for our clients. And I call them clients. They may not be a client yet. They just may be interested in what's next.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it's another community. Maybe it's 5 years from now, I want my kids to be in this high school.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's I want to be on the water. Or maybe it's my kids are moving out in 5 years and I want to be in a condo with no maintenance or whatever the case may be. By setting up that search criteria for them and putting in what they're looking for, they're turning on their RAS and they're building the knowledge so that they're prepared, so that when the time is there and they want to sprint, they can, because all the training's happened, right? All the knowledge is there.
Yeah, I just had a client call me the other day and they just moved and they're not thinking of now, but they are curious what's happening in the market, where they're living. And they feel like they got in at just the right time before the market kind of exploded a bit. So they're wanting to know how well their investment's doing. They're thinking this is a shorter term living arrangement. And so they're educating themselves so they know what's happening in their community.
Okay, so were you able to, what are you doing for them?
So I set up that search for them. Yeah. Solds and actives in their area so they can see even what they're selling for. Because a lot of people just looking on realtor.ca can only see what they're listed for and then they're gone and they don't know what the actual sale price is, and that's the most important.
That is the most important, especially in a market that's going up or a market that's flat, because sometimes we think that the list price was close to what it sold for, but sometimes we can be off by 50,000 either side, right? You can sell
even
below,
60.
you can sell above 50, 60,
Yeah.
a lot more.
Yeah.
So that's very interesting. So what if you look back a few years from now and you go, oh, the time I spent looking at properties was well spent because I made a quick decision. I saw an opportunity. I was able to take advantage of that opportunity because I had the knowledge. I was prepared. I made sure that my debt was removed or reduced. Because many times that's one of the things that stops people from taking advantage of a great opportunity.
Yeah.
It's the finances aren't there.
Yeah, or the debt, or they just bought a new car, which means that the lenders aren't so keen in lending them. It lowers their lending rate. Yeah.
That's really cool. So I guess it would be the time to offer them that service, right?
Yeah,
Wouldn't it?
absolutely.
Yeah, so if you're listening and you go, oh, Ken and Candice, maybe that's something that would help me, is just to have some data, some information coming forward. And people like to look at pictures of houses and inside pictures of houses. Maybe I'd like to know the value of my property going forward and what it is now, because it's maybe gone up in price. I need to know how much equity I have so that maybe I can buy another one. All they got to do is call us at 613-860-4663. And we'd be delighted to set that search up for them, wouldn't we?
Yeah, we would.
And sometimes we can just do it over the phone, find out what they're looking for, set it up.
Yeah.
And that's awesome. Yeah, so we want to thank you. Thank you for joining us on the Inside Track. And we are just delighted that you've taken this half an hour of your time and really invested it in yourself. So until next week, Thanks for joining us on the Inside Track.
Moving forward with the Decker team. Moving forward.